I am Phil Enderle. I am the senior pastor at Hope Lutheran Church in Fond du Lac. I've been a pastor for 25 years. I'm in my 26th year right now. I served a congregation in Alabama, another congregation in Milwaukee. Since 2004, I was at St. Matthew in Warrens.
I am Catherine Enderle. I am the Mrs. Pastor. We've been married for a little over 25 years. We have 4 children. They are 18, 20, 22, and 24. We have always lived in a parsonage. In fact, most of my life I've lived in a parsonage, with my father being a pastor as well. I was not familiar with homeowning, but it always seemed like a dream that was something we wanted for ourselves.
Prior to accepting the call to Hope here in Fond du Lac, I'd received 3 calls, and I had just declined the 3rd one, and Catherine and I were going for a walk. And she said, "Do you think you're going to finish your career at St. Matthew?" And I thought,
we really didn't think we were going anywhere.
No.
It felt like home. The kids grew up there. The people were wonderful.
Catherine said, "So what would it take for you to leave St. Matthew?" And I said, "Well, is the sky the limit?" And she said, "The sky's the limit." So I thought, and I said, "Well, I think what I would leave is for a senior pastor, large congregation, multiple staff." And the next day, I received a telephone call from the call committee of Hope saying, "Would you be interested in an interview?" And it was a large congregation, senior pastor, lots of people on staff. And I never thought that I was going to leave St. Matthew in Warrens, but when Hope called me, I knew that this is where God wanted me to be. So I accepted the call, and we were looking at houses, and the next item is, of course, how are you going to pay for it? Always came back with the same amount of, well, you kind of need 20 to 25% down, which we didn't have. We have always lived within our means, and with that, maintained a good credit. And so we contacted LCEF, had a pastor's conference with Diana Rosh, South Wisconsin District Vice President, and she said, "You should contact LCEF," which we did. And from our first contact to our closing, it was phenomenal. We realized that it was time for us to really make our dream of becoming a homeowner possible. And so at 54 and 53, we
bought our starter home.
We bought our starter home, yes. Yeah, starter home and finish our home too.
Yeah, probably. It's hard always leaving a congregation. You have built up friendships and relationships with people. We were at St. Matthew 14 years, I think, and they were very special people, and it was hard to leave. But the people here have been so welcoming and so kind in making us feel at home in the community, helping us to find stores and restaurants and coffee shops and bookstores and all of the things that you need in a new community.